Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It's Thursday. What is it? June 1st. It's
June
Final
1st.
Fantasy 16 month.
It's Pride Month, you bitch.
Well, first and foremost, it's Pride Month. Secondarily, it's Final Fantasy 16 month.
Which Pride Month? It's Gamer Pride Month.
No, Derek, don't.
Oh no, shut it down.
Jesus Christ. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll fucking see you later. But yeah, so right off the bat, I just want to say happy Pride Month to all of the members of the LGBTQIA plus community, and especially the ones who are members of SDGC and our little gaming community here.
Because we got a minimum of 3 of us. So
well, I'm talking. That's just like people we have,
but also
we have
everybody
tons.
that's not part of the cast. Yeah.
Yeah, we have tons who are just in the community and not part of the cast. And just want to let you guys know that you are all loved and you're all valid. And don't take any fucking shit from anybody, especially this month. Or they'll have to answer to me. And I get ornery when people fuck with people I care about. So don't let anybody fuck with you. Guys, what a fucking month for games this is going to be.
This is honestly, like, if I may take a second.
You may take a second.
This is gonna be the wildest couple of weeks, like, maybe of my life. Not only because, like, okay, first off, it's Pride Month, right? That's great. We have a couple of some of the biggest games of the year launching in the next couple of weeks. 2 of them within the next week. It is, I've got some major stuff at home, that I don't want to get into, but you all know about that's happening, in the next day or 2.
I'm so fucking happy for you, dude.
Brit's birthday is in a couple of days. My birthday's in a couple of days. I got a big cookout at work, and then I fly out to LA to hang out with some of you homies.
Hell
we got
invites. What are we doing in LA, Derek?
We're going to that Final Fantasy 16 pre-launch party. As VIPs, which is sick. I'm very, very excited about that. And then I get back, and then it's my anniversary on the 13th, which fucking is great. And then not long after that, I am taking Charlotte to her first Pride Festival because she's never been to one.
That's fucking cool.
And then on top of that, I've recorded my first episode of Castle Bravo for this season 3. So we're going to be running them out pretty soon, which Jeff, get excited. Cause in a couple months, you're going to be on.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You're on for the TriStar Godzilla. Remember the 1998 one with Matthew Broderick?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you gotta watch that one. Oh, I mean, it can't be worse than bait.
I gotta pull it out again. I got it right here. It's queued up. It's ready to go. Do not ask why I have this.
I almost need to have CJ on too, because it is the Simpsons Godzilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the Baby Godzilla? Is that the one I watched, Eric? Like what the shit was that called again?
Godzilla's Revenge, also known as Dinosaurs Attack.
That's right. Yeah, I did watch Dinosaurs. It can't be worse than
Dinosaurs is a great show. We're talking about the animatronics, right?
No. Oh, I'm talking about the fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. At any rate, I have not seen Roland Emmerich's Godzilla since 1999 for a very specific reason. Fuck that movie. And I will.
I'm ready. Let's fucking go.
That moment when Hank Azaria walks into the stadium, he's like, "Oh my god, this is like where the Knicks shower and stuff." I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." I'm out.
I remember so little of this movie. I'm so excited, but I mean that's true for many of these. Anyway, this is not Castle Bravo. This is not the Godzilla podcast. Point is, this 3 weeks or so is like jam packed with shit. So happy fucking Pride Month, my good bitch.
So here's something fucked up. My parents, who after like 20 plus years of divorce are back together. They're coming up to visit me.
Yeah, your divorced septuagenarian parents are gonna fuck in your house
on June 22nd.
Isn't that the day after?
No, that's the day of.
That's the day of Final Fantasy 16.
Yes, and
at least you have something to distract you from.
I will fucking Derek. First of all, they're not staying here, so shut the fuck up. They're staying at a hotel. Derek, stop it! Jesus Christ! They're staying at a hotel, which is really good because I cannot.
Finally,
handle
these high-tech mics are paying off.
Yeah, it's the worst.
I
the
cannot
worst
handle
ASMR
my
ever.
75-year-old parents fucking. And two, at least like the fact that they're staying in a hotel means I can at least like safely ignore them when I have to and play Final Fantasy 16. So that's good. I'll be expected to entertain them, of course. So I'm sure they'll come down to my office space here and they'll say, "What is this fucking shit?" Like, look at all this nerd shit. But
John's gonna have
parents?
the classic decoy John, like the pillow body with the balloon head painted and the two halves of a broom for arms.
Yeah, you're gonna have
The
the blow
soundboard
up,
queued up.
the
No, it's
blow
gonna
up
be like
decoy
Final
for
Fantasy VI is the greatest.
it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that blow up doll that in Men in Black 2 that pops out of the steering wheel. It's
I
just
was gonna
pop
say
out of
airplane because, the one in Men in Black 2 is definitely a reference to Airplane, right? Now that I think
so.
about it,
I think so.
The co-pilot in Airplane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. No, but yeah, what a fucking hey, happy Pride Month to you too, Grant. Happy Pride Month to you too. Guys, so we're waiting on our old friend Tom Johnson. He's trying to log in and hopefully he can make it. But if not, we're gonna rock the three of us. It's no big deal. We got quite a bit to talk about because there was some stuff that happened last week that, obviously we weren't live last week due to a number of reasons. So we have a PlayStation showcase to talk about. We've got some Diablo 4 to talk about. Derek, what else is on the agenda tonight?
so obviously we're going to start with what we've been playing, but yeah,
Right.
after that there were a lot of big announcements to talk about at the PlayStation Showcase, which I feel like a lot of people were really down about. And I have this issue with, I think, a lot of like capital G, like Jamer expectations when it comes to.
You and me
Did you
both.
say
We're gonna be on the
Jamer?
same page
said
on this
Jamer.
topic.
Because like people come into these kind of showcase streams wanting to just have their brains blown right out their butts every 5 minutes, and that's never how these work, right? Go in for 2 or 3 fireworks moments, some cool indies that may or may not be your thing, but like people are overly dismissive of cool indie games and they shouldn't be. So I thought it was a decent showcase with some fun stuff to talk about. And we're going to talk about that since we didn't get a chance to last week. Then we're going to talk a little bit about, look, this is a very packed month. Obviously, we have, thank you, Dorian. Obviously, we have...
God damn it, Dorian, fuck, why?
We have, Street Fighter hitting tomorrow. We have Diablo has already hit the early access for people who bought the digital
for people
version.
who can get in on PS5. It's not working
there's some
very
weird
well.
shit going on PS5, but
Derek, do you want to tell people how to fix the PS5 issues with Diablo 4 if you can't get in?
why don't you explain it?
Well, so what you got to do, and I shit you not, I swear to God, I'm being serious. To get around the message of no valid code found in Diablo 4 on PS5, close the game, go to PSN, download any free game on the PSN store, go back to Diablo 4 and start the game, and it will fucking work. I kid you not.
It's pretty funny. And then obviously, I mean, like most relevant to this podcast is in general is Final Fantasy 16 drops this month. So we got some big ass releases to talk about.
Oh my God.
Kind of do a hype check. Where are we at? How do we feel about these games? Because this is some of the biggest games of the year all hitting in.
Yeah, Derek, I'll tell you how
period.
I feel about this.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. Fucking hope you change your pants afterwards. But yeah, first off, oh god damn it, Nintendo!
Did Nintendo
not
drop
again.
something?
Not every week.
Oh my God, it's everybody 1-2 Switch.
What?
It's just got stuff.
It's real?
Yes.
They're just gonna
What the
drop this
fuck?
shit on June 30th?
Derek, look.
So for context, I'm looking at it. For context, Everybody 1-2 Switch is a game we've known quietly existed as a 1-2 Switch like successor for a long time.
Wow.
And it's, from everything we had heard, it's so bad that Nintendo could not figure out if they even wanted to release it. So it looks like they're just going to throw it out with no fanfare and get what sales they can out of it. I mean, unless they cleaned it up, maybe. I don't know. But that's so funny. Nintendo, how dare you? Nintendo fired my ass and now is just determined to fuck with everything I do by interrupting
what,
every
though.
podcast.
One of my favorite moments, gaming moments of the past 10 years was our first PAX East with Derek. This is before your time.
Yeah, but I
with,
know the story well.
With Finn and Maddie, who's no longer on the podcast, but still a friend of ours. They were playing 1-2 Switch in the fucking hotel room, and they were doing that goddamn game with the Joy-Cons where
the
you're
cow
milking the
game. Yeah,
where you're milking the cow with the Joy-Cons.
You got to do the hand motion too.
And Finn was having a hard time keeping it together. And Maddie just like leans in and says, "You fucking look me in the eyes while you're milking." And dude, I don't know what it is, but dude, I fucking lost it, dude.
Maddie's a king for that shit.
Maddie is fucking great. Yeah, holy shit. Out of fucking nowhere. Like the old Nintendo tradition of announcing weird shit or dropping shit while we are
9 p.m. on a Thursday. Fuck us. Anyway, so we got some stuff to talk about. We got some video games to talk about. Both recently announced and soon to be released. So first off, though, let's talk about what we've been playing. And I want to go to Jeff first. What you been playing, bud?
Oh, it's been a struggle.
I feel that.
I've been on Christina and I were going to Disneyland in September, so budget's tight. So I've been digging deep into that Steam library from when I was stupid and young and bought every game just because it was $2 on sale with no intention of ever playing it. But yeah, I finished my replay of Breath of the Wild. I think I mentioned last time I was playing that just to scratch the Zelda itch. Well, actually, I was waiting on Tears of the Kingdom because, again, budgetary issues, and because we have a amazing Discord community. I will not reveal the benefactor's name, but someone actually gifted me Tears of the Kingdom because I was.
Oh, that's awesome!
This is probably the third or fourth time that somebody in the Discord community has purchased a game for me, and I am so bad at taking gifts, and I feel so guilty, and I hate it, but I am eternally grateful. It's such a nice gesture. So they know who they are. Thank you so much. I'm gonna wait a little bit just because I just put 45 hours into Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna take a little bit of time. I want to go in a little bit soon because I think it'll be. I don't want to be burned out, but I think it'll be interesting, especially with them reusing the map. Because I have such a bad memory. If I wait 6 months, I'm not even gonna remember anything. But I think I'll get a little bit of oh, this is there's some neat either storytelling here or some cool differences. Just having that a little bit fresh in my brain will be cool. So I finished that. What I'm playing now, I started Half-Life 2 actually.
Yo,
have you ever played that before, Jeff?
Yeah, so I was going to talk about that. I have a weird relationship with Half-Life. I've played PC on and off, but I'd say mostly I've been a PC player most of my life. And I was there when Half-Life and Half-Life 2 both came out. I had them on my system, even with the original Half-Life. I had all the physical boxes. I bought them all because I like the colors. It's stupid. I had the orange box, but not the orange box release. The original Half-Life, I had even Blue Shift. And then of course I played the shit out of Counter-Strike 1.6. I even played Day of Defeat, which nobody even knows what that is when I tell them about it. A really good World War II mod, kind of like Counter-Strike. So anyways, the deal is I basically played the first 5 hours of both Half-Life games 5 or 6 times, and I would just never and I enjoyed them, but I just would this is when I was young, and I never even started finishing games until the PS3 era, probably. I would just tap out, and my ADHD would take over, and I'm oh, new game, and just ditch them. So a couple years ago, early in COVID, I finally played through Half-Life 1. Absolute fucking masterpiece. I just adore everything about that game. I'm about 5 hours into Half-Life 2 now, so I'm just passing. I just finished Ravenholm, so this is where I would have played 2 years ago. So I'm finally getting into the stuff I've never played before.
You've never made it past Ravenholm?
Correct, yeah.
Wow.
So obviously very early in the game, right?
Yeah.
That game still holds up.
I'm a little conflicted, and again, this is I can tell obviously we all know how influential Half-Life 2 is. Visually it holds up amazingly well. The source engine is just magic. The textures obviously aren't as crisp as they are today, but just at a glance, balancing their performance, just how fucking good it looks, the facial animations and the character models. It holds up really well. I'm a little bit mixed. Everyone knows I'm not big on hardcore shooters, and the first game gets a little shooter heavy, obviously towards the end when you start fighting the commandos or whatever. and the Zen, which everybody loves the Zen levels. But I think this is like a little bit too action heavy for my taste. Like the first is Escape from the City, so you're fighting a lot of the Combine, and then like Ravenholm. And also I'm playing with a controller. This game is not meant to be played with a controller. I think they patched in some better support with the Steam Deck release, so like it's decent, but like I can tell like you're supposed to be making the headshots with your mouse, and like the way that the crab heads move and like kind of duck and dodge, it doesn't have that aim assist or that like. So that part's a little bit frustrating. So I think I'm probably going to stick with it. But yeah, I prefer the aesthetic of the first game a little bit more. I get like, I don't know much about like the inspiration for the game. It looks very like, I don't want to say like Russian, but like that like Eastern European
I
aesthetic,
can see what you're talking
right? It looks like you're
about.
playing a stalker game or something like that.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, CJ's going to be here in about 10 minutes. So.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. Well, make sure he gets in the call.
So, but yeah, no,
I already added him.
I'm enjoying it. I think I'm gonna stick through it. But I needed like a little bit of break in between that stuff, and so I actually picked up Star Trek Resurgence, which most likely nobody has even heard of.
Yeah, you got a blank out of me.
I have no fucking idea what that is, Jeff.
It's a Telltale style game. I want to give the developer credit here.
Oh, never mind. I've heard of that. Okay, right.
It just came out last week, and like I was looking forward to it, but I think it's being just kind of dumped. So it's Dramatic Labs. I'm not super familiar with them. It's basically 20 former Telltale team members from the old Telltale. And it's a budget title. It's like $39.99 US. It's from what I hear, it's about 9 to 10 hours, but it's a classic Telltale game, but it's Star Trek. And it's really cool. I'm only played about a couple hours. I was hesitant going in. I think Derek, more than anyone, will appreciate this. I have a lot of bad luck with games, so I steer clear. Even polished games, I get a lot of bugs. This is apparently one of the worst releases of the year from a technical level.
Oh,
it's
that's
too small for
dude.
Digital Foundry to coverage. So on PC, it is locked to 30 frames per second. The highest resolution natively supported is 1080p, which is just like unheard of. And then just added all the other
Jeff, hold on.
Yeah.
I got a question. This can't be. That's weird. Like the budget for this game can't be like fucking huge, right?
No. And
So-
that's why I'm gonna give it a pass. It's 20 people made it, from what I understand, but
It's fully voice acted too, right? Like
it is. Yep. Like the presentation's very similar to a Telltale game. It definitely looks like early PS4 gen in terms of the character models, which again, like isn't a big deal to some
for
people.
lower
that's
budget stuff.
That's a Telltale
Yeah.
game for you, you know.
But it's we talk it all the time. It's nice to just have like a cheap $40 AA tier game. And honestly, Star Trek, I've only started getting into Star Trek during the pandemic. Again, my game taste kind of shifted from like violence to different stuff, and I think like from a like TV and movie medium, Star Trek's really filled that void for me. I watched Discovery, Strange New Worlds. I've gone back and I'm watching Next Generation, but like I really appreciate in ways I didn't when I was younger the kind of ideal version of humanity that it presents, and the some great quotes in Next Generation about like someone's like they find some people that were frozen in the past, and it's like, what do you guys do now? Like where's all your money and stuff? They're like, oh, we've evolved past like material needs. Like all we do is just spend our day learning things and bettering ourselves. And like I don't know, like that shit when I was young is boring as hell, and I'm like, this is really cool.
It's nice to see optimistic futurism.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And I was just ranting in the Discord the other day about like, I'm so like, no shade to people who enjoy them, but like if I see another post-apocalyptic game with neon graffiti and like a modified war car, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. So,
Yeah.
but honestly, Star Trek, we've talked a lot about like Star Wars games have had a rough ride, even especially with EA. Like Star Trek games are like fucking non-existent, especially in the AAA space, and it's a great property for a Telltale style game because this game has like all the great stuff that a lot of people love about the shows. You've got like high tension situations on the bridge when you're playing as the captain, and like you have to make a hard decision and people react to that. So it's like balancing, what does Starfleet want with what does your crew want? And the voice acting's pretty good. The writing is good. Like Star Trek has a very distinct formal style of dialogue a lot of times, but it also has like the humor works really well because when they break those kind of like interactions, especially between like officers and commanders and stuff like that. The game has all that stuff. It's got all like the stupid the tricorder and the gadgets and things. So like it's definitely not for anyone who's not a fan of Trek, but I think for anyone who's like, you know, reasonably into like some of the shows in the series, it's like definitely worth a look. I would just maybe wait a bit to see if it gets polished up, but thankfully at least on the PC side, there's a community member who already released a mod 2 days later. High resolution support, uncapped frame rate, stuff like that, and just smoothed out the experience overall. So yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a good game, and it's an underdog, so I hope it does decently.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah. Hell yeah. John, what you been playing, bud?
So, I'm taking a break from Tears of the Kingdom simply because I'm 2 dungeons in. I'm in no rush to beat. I love the game. I'm in no rush to beat it. This is one of those games that I want to just like go through slowly and savor. And plus, like, there's, you know, like let's face it, right? Like, I'm in Final Fantasy mode right now. Like, Final Fantasy 16 is coming out. 6.4 just dropped in Final Fantasy 14, so I've been playing that. I just recently and I wanted to finish my Final Fantasy 5 playthrough on Switch, so I did that. Final Fantasy 14 6.4. So far I really fucking love where the story has gone. This is the first time in the history of Final Fantasy 14 where an actual game in the mainline franchise, in this case 4, has influenced the main storyline to this degree. To the point where right now the current main antagonist in Final Fantasy 14 is Golbez from Final Fantasy 4. So we've gone to the Red Moon, and Derek, when you set foot on the Red Moon, you hear that lunar music from Final Fantasy 4 kick in. And I was like, "Oh, this is fucking great." The fight with Golbez and the Shadow Dragon is fucking awesome. Don't worry, Jeff. I'm not gonna give any spoilers beyond. No spoilers, Jeff.
He doesn't want to hear it anyway.
Jeff, put your headphones back on. I'm not gonna give any actual story.
I could tell. Well, I already know you fight Golbez now. Like I didn't know that was happening yet. So it's all good. It's all good.
No, I thought it was. Have you not played any of the Endwalker post game stuff?
I have, but like I've just been fighting the other. Like I haven't played 6.4 yet. I'm waiting for 6.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
like, obviously it's leading up to it, but like it's all
after
good.
the 4 fiends. I thought I kind of figured. Okay. Well, yeah. but at any rate, no story spoilers. But you know, the way it's going is both. It's how I expected it to go, but there's also some neat twists being thrown in there. My expectation is that this current storyline will wrap up in 6.5, and then from 6, and then we will see where 7.0 is going to take us.
Yeah, Square loves to kind of like, especially this team, they love to defy expectations, like mild Endwalker spoilers, like, well, major spoilers, but I won't give it away. But like, obviously, where you think that antagonist and stuff is going heading into Endwalker very early in the expansion, you're like, oh fuck, this is not at all what this is
completely
about.
Turns it on its head. Yeah, it absolutely does. Because like, when that guy is like the first trial you fight, you're like, wait, what? Yeah. Like, yeah, it's like, hold on a minute, wait, I thought this was, I thought he was going to be like whoa. Yeah. But I love the direction 6.4 is taking. I love, Jeff, the glam options are fucking great.
I was gonna say I haven't played 6.4 yet, but like, just all the post Endwalker stuff, I was very like, I had faith in the team, but they've definitely surpassed my expectations. And like you said, just this game is so good at like just paying homage to like the like 4, but not just retreading and like redoing it. Like it's always a new spin on it. And like I can't fucking wait to see where 7.0 goes.
You've done so you've played through 6.3, yeah?
Yeah, so I beat the 4 Archfiends.
Okay, yeah. So I like to kind of like, because Derek loves Final Fantasy 4, and I like to tease Derek, like, Derek, if there was ever a time for you to get into Final Fantasy 14, this is it.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't have
just played 400 hours.
Yeah,
Diablo and Street Fighter and
Final Fantasy 16
and Final Fantasy 16 on pause. 400 hours into this, and then you can get caught up on the.
If I just don't play any other video games for the rest of the year, I might get there.
Yeah.
So Derek, like, the battles with the 4 fiends are Scarmiglione and Cagnazzo are just like regular dungeon bosses, and then Barbariccia and Rubicante are trial bosses. And the variation they do, like, it is wild, Jeff, how they keep remixing the Battle of the Four Fiends music and make it sound new every time. Like,
I know. Well, when I just played the 4-pixel remaster, I was like jumping between that and like going back on YouTube and watching like the fights from 14, because I was like, holy fuck, both of these are so good. The pixel remaster, like the orchestrated soundtrack is so good, but like also like it's just too good.
Final Fantasy music is a different fucking level, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And I could not be happier with the way that 14. I finally got my fucking blackjack mount, Jeff.
Oh my god, you finished grinding that out?
I did 4 million MGP. What I did, Jeff, to get myself over the last million MGP hurdle was fucking, oh hey, a raid from Anorian. What's up, buddy? So what I did to get myself over that last 1 million is I just did Moogle Tombstones of Mendacity. And I grinded fucking Fist of the Father, one of the Alexander raids, and each you can finish them in like 3 minutes, and each one gives you 2 Moogle Tombstones, and you need 30 Moogle Tombstones to get an MGP Platinum card, which gives you 50,000 MGP. So for a straight week, I did nothing, and I do mean fucking nothing in video gaming, but run Fist of the Father over and over.
Yeah, and you want me to get into this?
So good.
Okay.
The music is really good, and I got my fucking blackjack mount. It's the legit blackjack. It's the fucking blackjack from Final Fantasy VI. It's all I wanted. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm done. Dude, I'm so fucking happy. I've got my blackjack mount, and I've got my Phantom Train minion, and I'm a happy fucking man. I'm fucking happy. Aside from that, fuck yeah, Derek and John. Aside from that, I mean, I've literally just been playing Final Fantasy shit right now. I mean, with 16 on the horizon, how can I not be in complete fucking Final Fantasy mode? How can I not do it?
It's what I expect of you.
I'm so fucking, guys, 16 is coming out this month. I'm so fucking excited.
It will never happen, but if Rebirth somehow did arrive this winter and like in this calendar year, I think John would just ascend.
I just yelled so hard
to
my
a higher
dogs
plane.
are freaking out upstairs. Guys, there's a new fucking Final Fantasy mainline game coming out in 3 weeks.
The 14 Fan Fest is in like next month, where they'll show the trailer for 7.0 and the new expansion.
And we're going as fucking VIPs to the goddamn 16 launch party. Like, what reality are we living in right now?
This is the year of Final Fantasy, right?
Like, yes, like, dude, Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in 3 weeks. We, as fucking Square Enix, I can't even fucking talk. Like, we as Square Enix content creators are got VIP invites to the 16 launch party next fucking week, Derek.
Yeah.
And
I got plane tickets and everything.
There's a chance that fucking Rebirth might come out at the end of the year. We know fucking Final Fantasy Tactics is coming at some point this year. Like holy fucking shit, guys. I'm so fucking happy. I'm so fucking happy right now, dude. Like, oh, what a good fucking time.
Imagine if we get that FF9 remake announced.
What's that?
Imagine if we get that FF9 remake announced.
Oh, dude, you know it's coming. It was in the NVIDIA leak.
Will ascend when the time comes. So, here's CJ.
CJ, dude.
Yo, what's up, man?
CJ's in the fucking woods.
Guys, hold no,
I'm in Dagobah.
From Dagobah. It's Thursday night.
Okay, guys, hold up. For like the 2 people who care about this on like who are watching the stream, the Miami Heat are down by about 17 points. I am pissed the fuck off. Fuck Denver. Anyway, how's it going, guys?
It's going.
Good.
It's going.
Way to hit that like Final Fantasy Miami Heat fan
Baseball.
crossover audience.
CJ, we were just talking about all the fucking crazy Final Fantasy shit happening this year.
Okay. Oh my god, Final Fantasy. I heard of that.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird to hear CJ be excited about Final Fantasy.
I mean, like kinda, but I mean, his level of excitement is very different from your level of excitement. Where like
CJ, before you
John,
came
you've
on, I
given
yelled
blood
so
for
loud
this-
in excitement
John,
that the fucking dogs
you've
up.
given
if you're
blood
this
for the
hyped up,
series.
if you're this hyped up for 3.5 more hours, you need to see a doctor. Like, anyway, can I talk about what I've been playing?
Fuck, we're at
No,
halftime,
yes.
guys. We're losing. We're at halftime now. Fuck this shit.
It's never been more over.
Fuck this shit.
Derek, you may
So-
speak about what you've been playing as long as it's Final Fantasy related.
It's not.
Well,
So I've
Wait,
been playing.
Derek, you're not playing Final Fantasy VI like everyone else.
Yeah, right. I have been playing primarily two things. Largely Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom over the last 2 weeks, which I rolled credits on a few days ago. I'm not anywhere close to 100%ing the game, and I don't fucking plan to, because it's a miracle that I played through a big open world game as is. But this one's special. Zelda's special. This is really fucking good. I'm on record repeatedly, right? Not being a Breath of the Wild guy. Not even being a Breath of the Wild they. And Tears of the Kingdom fixed most of what I needed fixed. I'm more drawn in by the narrative, which is a big deal for me. We get a bit of a more traditional like dungeons and like unique bosses in a way that feels more fulfilling, as opposed to getting these 4 big robot animals and fuck up a massless shape of, fake Ganons. It's good. I love the fusing and building aspects of it. I love the amount of shit that's in the game that they did not even begin. Like, nobody knew about the depths. There was no word about the depths before launch. And that's an entire
what a
world
cool
going
fucking
on.
surprise too.
Yeah.
Like
there's a lot of shit like that. There's just a lot of stuff that you run into, even if you're coming from the perspective of having played a lot of Breath of the Wild. You will run into things that surprise you. You will run into like encounters. You'll run into like parts of the world, quests that seem like things that shouldn't have been done before. And it's also been cool seeing like game developers flip out over shit that's in the game, being like, how do they do this? I've seen game developers talking like, you should not be able to make this run on hardware twice as powerful, and here it is going on the Switch, right? The complexity of the physics mechanics and everything going on. It's incredible. And I had a really good time with it. Now I'm done with it, and I don't plan on touching the fucking game again for a really long time, because that's how I'm approaching this Zelda like a Zelda game that took 5 times as long to beat. The other thing I've been playing is I mentioned a while back on one of our previous shows I was playing a lot of Street Fighter 4 to get ready for Street Fighter 6. Well, I played a decent bit of Street Fighter 4. I played a little bit, at least once, through arcade mode as every character. I spent some time in the lab. I got refamiliarized with those mechanics and all the characters and how they worked. Well, I moved on to Street Fighter 5. And for the past week or so, I've been playing a good amount of it.
I thought you didn't like Street Fighter 5.
No, Street Fighter 5 is actually really good now. Street Fighter 5 is a situation where it launched in an abysmal state with next to no content, an extremely anemic roster, but by the time we hit like a season or 2 in, things had really started to shape up. Now, Street Fighter 5 is incredible. It's hampered by the fact that it visually is not a big step up from 4. It's not quite the like excellence I expect of a Street Fighter for its generation. Because like Street Fighter 2 is one of the best looking fighting games of its time. Still, Street Fighter 3, maybe one of the best looking 2D games ever. Street Fighter 4, for the time that it came out, it redefined how good a fighting game could look. And then Street Fighter 5 came out, and it was just like kind of a flatter, clayer looking Street Fighter 4. But it's been interesting to play through. I'm still not a huge fan of the whole V system, the V skills, V triggers, V reversal, stuff like that. But, it was an interesting way to, like, there's other ways they could have added I don't know. I didn't like the V system much, but I do like the variety of characters. I like that Street Fighter V is less Shoto heavy than 4. 4 had so many Ryus. So goddamn many Ryus, right? So it's been interesting to see how a lot of characters changed between 4 and 5. I only played a little bit of the pre-release demo for 6. Only enough to like kind of get a feel for it before it comes out. But I'm really excited to tear into it, sometime early next week and see how things have come. I'm so excited. I mean, Street Fighter's always been.
Are you going to be playing it at midnight tonight, Derek?
No, it's going to be a birthday gift to me, so I do have to wait till Monday, but that's okay because I'm going to be super busy the next few days. I wouldn't really have time to play any video games. But yeah, I'm excited for 6. And it's been fun because like everyone said that Capcom's new like RE engine, right? People have had these fake expectations of what that engine can do. Like it was used on the Resident Evil games and people were like, okay, well, people were making up on Twitter that like the RE engine can't do big open environments, right? It can't do outdoors. It can't do this kind of stuff. And then they made Devil May Cry and they made Monster Hunter Rise. And people were like, okay, well, but there's no way you're going to do Street Fighter or something like a fighting game in the RE engine, which is like, I don't know why you're fucking saying this. You shouldn't doubt Capcom. But like Street Fighter looks great. And every time they reveal a character that, is from an older game, they look incredible. And there's an excitement around 6 that didn't exist for 5 because 5 launched in such a rough state.
Is this the highest reviewed Street Fighter game, Derek?
4 has got to be close. 4 was in the 90s.
It's hard to say. The problem is Street Fighter has a history of excellence, right? And Street Fighter 5 is the one that broke the mold, right? 2 is one of the best-selling video games ever made of all time.
Also one of the greatest video games of all time.
The Alpha series is widely beloved, right? Street Fighter 3 flopped at the time, but has retroactively become understood to be like Third Strike is one of the best fighting games ever made.
One day I'll get Rival Schools back.
Rival Schools is just going to become part of Street Fighter. That's what's happening. Especially with Akira showing up at the end of Street Fighter 5. Like, you're just going to see Rival Schools characters make it into Street Fighter 6.
Probably.
Which is fine, because that's cool. Street Fighter's growing to absorb like Final Fight and Rival Schools and stuff that's tonally can work in, and that works. It's great.
So Derek, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If Street Fighter 6 blows up, which given
it
Capcom's
will. It's in the process of doing it.
Yeah, I have no doubt that it will. Could we see... Oh, Britt, what's up? Why is Britt in chat not on the podcast?
She asked
she's
to
with
get added
family.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's with family. Never mind.
She's literally
never
no.
mind.
She's in the Discord like in.
Oh, then add her to the call.
Yeah, I don't know. How do I add her?
Oh, I'll add her.
John,
I'm wearing my Simpsons baseball shirt.
So hold on, I'm going to add her right now.
Look,
but
dude,
so Derek, what do you think if this blows up the way that we are confident it will? What are the odds that we get like another franchise revival, like a franchise revival, like Darkstalkers or fucking...
What's the other Capcom crossover game that's not Marvel vs. Capcom? Like, what was the one on the Wii?
They had a couple. They had Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
That's the one.
They had SNK versus Capcom and Capcom versus SNK.
Those exist like via like I think like compilations. I don't know. Like they're still circulating. Yeah.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Britt, I added you to the call if you want to hop in.
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be super realistic about this, right? If Street Fighter 6 blows up, then what's gonna happen is Capcom is going to, I think, believe that they have room for a second fighting game if they can keep things rolling. Because other companies have done it. Namco has supported multiple before, right? Arc System Works has supported multiple. Capcom can do it. Capcom's done it in the past, but they're only going to want one more. They don't want to oversaturate the market because they know that killed them at a certain point. It could be Darkstalkers. I would be surprised if it was Darkstalkers, but if it's anything getting revived, it's Darkstalkers. It's
like,
not gonna
I was going to say, because like Marvel versus Capcom is done, right? Like that's not coming back.
The Marvel versus, like, here's my thing. I think it would be a Capcom versus game, right? It would just be Capcom crossover
I'd be
fighter.
down with that, dude.
Because It won't be Rival Schools because, again, Rival Schools is getting absorbed into Street Fighter. Like, more and more, it's become so clear that the future of Final Fight and Rival Schools is through Street Fighter. But I think Capcom wants to keep the tradition of the Versus series alive because the history of the Versus series, going all the way back like to X-Men versus Street Fighter and really earlier with Darkstalkers, because Darkstalkers is the gameplay origin of the Versus series. The Versus series played like Darkstalkers did. And that's why I think it's one or the other, right? Is they'll want a fighting game that plays very different from Street Fighter. But I think it would be a Capcom Versus game because they want to keep the spirit and the hype of like Marvel vs. Capcom alive, but they can't be fucking with that Marvel license anymore. It was Marvel's involvement was not good for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Marvel's involvement is too restrictive, and it's too restrictive like in terms of licensing. They can only keep the games on sale for X period of time, which is not healthy. It means Marvel has to get involved with, like the Capcom Pro Tour, which is too much hassle. But Marvel vs. Capcom, this is Capcom vs. Capcom, where they get to pick both teams. Like, yeah, that's huge. I think that could happen.
I would eat that fucking shit up.
I think that's really realistic because also the one person that was stopping that from happening was Yoshinori Ono, who was the head of the fighting game division until
that
he
motherfucker
was demoted and left. He is.
Fuck him, by the way.
Well, I've heard he's a bit of a jackass. I haven't heard he's like problematic. But
no, dude. Apparently, he was pretty.
Oh, was he?
He was pretty bad.
All right. Yeah. Well, I heard he was a bit of a jackass, and I know he was very stubborn and not. Anyway, we're not going to get into that too much. But I think that's likely. I don't know. I could see more re-releases, right? Things like Power Stone getting re-releases. That,
I mean, we already know that we already know Power Stone something is coming based on that Capcom leak, but.
Yeah, but yes, that's what I think is going to happen. I think Street Fighter will blow up, and I think you're going to see like a Capcom Versus game, something that plays closer to the gameplay history of the Versus series that leans into all these Capcom franchises that are not getting represented right now. And there's probably going to be like 5 or 6 Darkstalkers characters in it as a mea culpa for the fact that there's not a new Darkstalkers. So, and probably very few you'll have some Street Fighter characters because you have to, but like they got a whole other Street Fighter going on, so they're fine. Also hard money. If Street Fighter 6 blows up, Namco will eventually revive Tekken versus Street Fighter.
I was thinking about that.
That's going to happen
this year too, right? Tekken 8?
Tekken 8 does. Now that's going to be a while, right? Because they're going to work on Tekken, but I would not be surprised if the Tekken team does not, or even maybe like the Soul Calibur team, right? The B team. Somebody who works at Namco, one of these 3D fighting game teams, is going to go, okay, Street Fighter's hot again. Let's revive that crossover we canceled.
Oh, fuck yeah. Bring back Pac-Man and a mech.
Yeah.
I'd love to see fucking Bloody Roar come back, man.
Never happen.
I know.
I don't know, Konami. Maybe Konami wants in on this fighting game business.
With the pissing in the
That's Primal Rage.
No, you're thinking,
Primal Rage, sorry.
No,
that's better.
You're thinking,
who owns Primal Rage? That's Atari, isn't it? Atari's coming back.
CJ.
I'm pretty sure that's Atari.
I'm sorry. My fighting game valor, I guess a genre I don't play.
Maybe it's Remorse is saying Midway.
So
anyway,
do we want to go ahead and jump into the PlayStation Showcase?
What is CJ been playing?
Oh,
no,
CJ,
fine.
yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead, John. Your PlayStation Showcase is more important than the one minority voice you have.
Fuck you, CJ. What have you been playing?
And I'm wearing a baseball shirt too, so you might as well call me like whatever. So anyway, really quickly, because I wasn't on last week when embargo broke. Guess which one of us got to play Final Fantasy 16 for about 5 hours? I'll give you it.
Incredible.
Motherfuckers. It's good. And I remember Jeff being an asshole saying that, if CJ said it's good, then I'm probably not going to dig it. Fuck you. I hope you don't like it. No, anyway, it's interesting. I wrote a preview over at Game Critics. Go check it out.
Which you should go check out because CJ's a phenomenal writer.
So the short of it, it's good. Square's doing something really interesting where like they're making a really accessible like action game as opposed to like a straightforward RPG. There's still a lot of like leveling up and like experience points and like towns and like side quests, talking to different characters, party member, all this stuff, right? That makes up like a JRPG with, you know, the combat of like a PS2 action game, which, you know, owing to like the fact that the combat director is the same one from Devil May Cry 5, which is, I think for my money, the best character action game we've had in like the last decade.
For sure.
The last 10 years. The last 10 years, I can't go back to anything like anything else. So it's good. I love the atmosphere. I like how dark and brooding it is. Reminds me a lot of stuff like, you know, Berserk or Dark Souls or Game of Thrones, where it's the idea that like if these like disgusting, vile like monsters in the swamp won't kill you, the backstabbing like politicians will do it for you. And I really like that they commit. The entire thing, without spoiling too much of the story, it feels a lot like Conan the Barbarian or the Northman, where it's like this big revenge tale that's angry and gross and violent.
You said the Northman,
Clive
so
is a
I'm
dark
activated.
character, yeah.
Clive, like his arc is very similar to a lot of these characters who, like, you know, oh look, they're born into something, they get knocked off, and then now they have to like go and fight back in like this really over the top and violent way. I wasn't expecting it to be as violent as it was. It looked incredible. I played a preview build, so obviously, you know, things will change when the full game is released, but I love the way it looked. I love the way it played. Oh my god, the battle theme, like the battle themes are great.
Yeah.
The classic victory theme is now like this really epic, like, you know, chorus.
It's like a chorus. It's
oh
like
my gosh, it's so good. That's the thing too. It's like they did a great job. It's similar to like when you first boot up like Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, and then you see all the Final Fantasy stuff thrown in. This is that same thing where it's like it doesn't look like Final Fantasy until you see something Final Fantasy related. So it's like it's this incredibly violent game, but then someone's riding a chocobo. It's this great great clash.
CJ, if I could interject for a minute, I talked to somebody who played it, and they said it doesn't play like Final Fantasy traditionally, but it absolutely feels like Final Fantasy.
It feels like Final Fantasy the same way that like 15 felt like Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
It's like a really bizarre like combat system, but it still fits within the mold of what Final Fantasy is, right? There's a lot of DNA of the 7 remake too, where it's like all the action bits from the 7 remake, all the flash and everything like that, it's still there. It's just ditching a menu completely. Right, you're no longer overcumbered by like selecting like different attacks or different like tactics. It's all hotkeyed to something where Clive will throw like a fireball or something, or he'll dash or whatever, rather than sitting there and like picking it from a menu. Right, so it works. So someone like me who isn't used to like a lot of traditional JRPGs or that weird mix, I don't like ATB stuff. I don't like feel like I have to like wait to attack, right? This is just straight, I know. This is straight up like what I wanted, right? Just a very straightforward action game that feels ripped out of like in the PS2 era. Wonderful. I'm very excited. It's like that perfect mix. Something like Yakuza or Devil May Cry, where it's like this very serious, gorgeous, over the top thing with combat ripped straight out of like an arcade game. So I'm looking forward to it, which is I'm looking forward to a Final Fantasy game at launch, which is very funny. So and a quick aside, I played a bit of like the open-ended stuff. Gorgeous too. Reminded me a lot of like, I don't know if you guys remember Shadow of Mordor at the second area.
Yeah.
Where it's all green and everything. A lot of those vibes, right? Same dark energy, same sort of like, all this great high-end dark fantasy stuff, but like now expanded into this open world. You get more party members, all this stuff. I liked it a lot. So that was just 6 hours. I guess you guys told me what, it's like a 40-hour game. Like that's what they confirmed more or less.
Something like the 35, 40 hours, which is pretty standard for modern day Final Fantasy.
Right. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I just played like I played enough where I'm like, this is great, but I didn't play enough where I felt like I saw everything or I saw what could be everything. So I'm looking forward to it. Like it's cool. Like it's cool that I will not only play a Final Fantasy game at launch, I'll potentially play it before everyone else, so I'll be able to form some sort of opinion.
I mean, me, Derek, Finn, and Britt will be playing it next weekend.
Maybe you guys will play that same demo. You guys will do like that same.
I would imagine we.
CJ played it first.
I would also imagine that after the launch party is when the demo is going to drop.
Right. So maybe it'll probably be like some like truncated version of what we got, right?
Probably.
Maybe it'll do
So,
like
so from what I was told, CJ, the demo is like the first 2 hours of the game, and your progress
So
carries, and your progress like carries over. So
I played 5 hours from the start of the game. So it's probably
Okay.
it's gonna be that same thing. Really quickly before we move on to because I know I've been talking too much. I got here late.
no, you're good, dude.
Played a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, your resident Breath of the Wild hater. Got it. Could not put that much time into it because I've been so busy. I like it a lot already. It clicks. There's something in there that I see it, right? I see what it is. I see what potential there is. I just can't sit in front of my TV yet to like fully enjoy it, and it's hard for me to look at it on like my Switch and handheld just because it's massive. I'm already getting overwhelmed, so I'm pausing that to play I'm starting up my Dragon Quest 11 playthrough again.
Yes.
Because I stopped at a great part where like after a boss fight, and I know that the game's really good about explaining everything that happened up until that point you're at. Great, I'm in. I beat what's her name, Dora and Gray, whatever. Like
Dora and
so
Gray,
glad.
The big doll.
I'm so glad that we've Dragon Quest pilled CJ.
No, man. I can't. Oh, look. Speaking of, look at. Oh my God, look at this. Yeah, of course. Yeah, like I'm not gonna be Dragon Quest, but look at this Dragon Ball manga I got. Of course, Rose Toriyama.
Speaking of, I am stunned that Derek has not mentioned new Dragon Quest Monsters is coming.
Well, I mean, it's one game announcement I'm excited.
And we're getting another like Dragon Quest spinoff this year. We got we got Treasures last year.
Last year,
and we're getting the anime adaptation this
which CJ, you did the review for us. You really enjoyed Treasures.
Oh, I love Treasures. Treasures is great. And again, it's directly related to 11 since it's a prequel. Love that game. That's why I want to get back into 11. I absolutely adored it. I just had to stop for a bit. And also, yesterday review is submitted. I'm waiting for edits. I played a lot of Lego 2K Drive. Derek, man, this shit fucking rules.
Yeah,
this shit rules. Maybe like top 3 racing games of the generation. Top 4, like it's in that like sphere. It's so goddamn good. My cousin and I play. I think he managed to finish it before me. It's one of those things where we were just constantly talking about it. So much fun. Look for that review. But great racing game. I think you would love it. I think you would genuinely enjoy it. It's gonna go on sale soon. I doubt it did that well. I doubt it did that well.
I'll get it on Steam sale for $20 or $30 in like.
Get it? Oh my gosh!
3 months.
Oh my god! Nothing beats driving like a Lego McLaren. Oh.
So did we want to go ahead and jump into the PlayStation showcase?
So here's the deal: we've already spent a lot of time accidentally talking about like Street Fighter 5.
Oh shit, we're Street Fighter 6 almost already.
I know, and because we spent a lot of time talking about Street Fighter 6, and we spent a lot of time talking about Final Fantasy 16, two of our big upcoming games.
The Heat are losing by 14 points. Quarter 3.
Let's take a moment to talk about Diablo. And then maybe finish off with the PlayStation Showcase.
Okay, that's fine.
We can do if I can make a suggestion, what we can just do is like pick out our favorite stuff from the PlayStation Showcase.
That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna talk about the highlights.
If we have time,
because there was a lot at that showcase, and like we're gonna care about certain things specifically. So, but yeah, Diablo 4 is out in the wild. People are already playing it because I guess purchasing or pre-ordering the like fucking deluxe and turbo nerd editions gets you a few days early access.
Embargo dropped
if you can get in, because apparently the servers are being slammed right now.
I mean, that's just a thing to be expected, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing. This is complicated, right? Because we were all right, like content creators, media, everybody's real hard on that fuck Activision Blizzard train.
I'm on it.
Right? Hey, and here's the thing. None of us are off it, right? Like, fuck Activision Blizzard, fuck Bobby Kotick, fuck Mikey Barra. It's been said, right? But it's been interesting to see the sheer number of people, right? Even people who are usually really good about this stuff pick up Diablo 4 or play like the open betas and go, holy shit, there's some game here. You know, there's a level of excitement around this that has not existed for Diablo, or really for Blizzard, I feel like, in a long time.
I would say, dude, a fucking decade. Like,
right, like MW2 and Overwatch 2 didn't break the internet or like cause this much of a stir in like conversation as much as something like Diablo 4.
Well, and part of this Diablo is Diablo's a tricky situation, right? Because the franchise that dates back to the 90s on PC, the first and second, excuse me, are some of the most beloved games of all time, and then Diablo 3 is this really infamous like mixed bag that people still are very sour over. And in a lot of ways, Diablo 3 is seen as like indicative of the drop in quality in Blizzard overall. It's like the beginning of the death knell for Blizzard.
Cheaters just ruined that fucking game. Online,
I don't know.
dude.
See,
Like,
I still enjoyed Diablo 3, but like I get it. It did not feel the same way that Diablo 1 and 2 did. And there's been a lot of cynicism around whether Blizzard could ever refine that magic, right? World of Warcraft's going to keep being World of Warcraft, keep going through cycles of good and mediocre, but it's going to keep being WoW. Overwatch has been on a downswing for a long time. StarCraft,
boy.
StarCraft. Hey, real fun how they fucking canceled the story content. That's the only reason people accepted.
Oh, that's the only reason that it justified its existence.
That's the only reason there was a 2 behind the name.
Hey guys, we turned it free to play and dropped one character from each team. Ta-da! But Overwatch had this explosive beginning, but really petered out. So, I don't think people expected Diablo 4 to come in as hard as it did, especially a game that's largely been finished up, right, under work from home conditions, which comes with some challenges. So, it's turned out to be really fucking good. But like it's made worse because not only do we have that bullshit with Overwatch recently, but like, God, fucking who was it that put out that bullshit fluff piece about Bobby Kotick?
Oh, that was oh fuck.
Which outlet
Derek,
was that?
I'm glad you brought this up because I was gonna mention this, guys. You don't have to interview Bobby Kotick. You fucking don't.
No, because we don't have people who know about video games right for the major publications.
It was Variety. It's
fucking Variety, bro.
Yeah, that's
everybody knows
I'm
who
not
Bobby
against
Kotick
unions.
is. He fucking sucks. You don't need to.
And he
you don't
basically
need to
came
fucking
and said
interview him.
there is no harassment problem.
There's no
within
harassment culture.
Activision Blizzard.
Fine.
And also, actually, it's a conspiracy by the unions to destroy corporate America.
Didn't he try to have somebody fucking killed or something?
He threatened his assistant to kill them. Yes. Also, his details are in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. That can never be bypassed. That Bobby Kotick's information is in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. So if you, perhaps listener, might hear that fact and decide for yourself that maybe that means Bobby Kotick is a pedophile, I think that's a conclusion you could be allowed to make from that particular piece of evidence, but cannot be proven. Anyway, Bobby Kotick sucks shit. And
here.
Mikey Bars. Hey, Britt!
Oh, Britt!
Oh, Britt,
Hey!
look.
I show.
It's Bart. You can barely see him.
It's almost.
It's almost Bart.
Britt, happy early birthday.
Oh, I see Bart. Okay.
Yeah, happy early birthday, Britt.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, and
I have
then
no makeup on, and I'm at my.
and you're
You
still
look
gorgeous.
wonderful.
So,
Thank you.
All
but
right,
yeah, so IGN and The Verge, I saw from both of them, and I'm sure others have done incredible articles almost around the same time about the Activision Blizzard has actually found a ton of like incidents of harassment. They verified, it's so anyway,
all over the place.
it's very funny for Kotick to come out and be like, there's no problem, while quietly his company's like, yeah, we found a lot of problems, but like, let's bury this with a Variety puff piece. And it's hard, but also there are really good folks working at Activision Blizzard, right? Especially the Blizzard side. Like a lot of really garbage people got kicked out, and a lot of really good people filtered in. And I'm seeing a lot of even Blizzard like devs who are pretty openly like, hey man, like just remember a lot of us are doing this shit in spite of awful management. So like, it's messy. And I think in the end, this is hard because Diablo is maybe my most anticipated game of the year, right? That's a thing I've not been comfortable saying out loud much because fuck Activision Blizzard, right? Fuck the leadership of this company. But at the same time, like, this is not a clear-cut issue, right? There are good folks who worked on these games who want their work to be seen and enjoyed, right? And there are also garbage fucking people running this company, right? I mean, we can't get over the fucking cubicle crawls and the one lady getting her fucking breast milk stolen out of the fridge, which is the most Jesus Christ what the fuck thing I've ever heard.
Basically the
You
same
know,
situation
what?
as Ubisoft, right?
Do you
Like,
not know about that, John?
Yes, you do. There's no way.
No.
Come on, man. We talked about it
Yeah,
on this
that was
podcast.
one of the most like absurd pieces that came out of. So as a woman who had recently given birth and was, pumping at work so she could, she could feed her child, and her breast milk got stolen out of the fridge. And I will let you.
Was she also being watched?
Wasn't she what?
Wasn't she also being watched? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's
Probably.
possible. But anyway, I mean, yeah. So there's some shit. Now, granted, again, a lot of these people were found and filtered out. There's still more, and of course, the worst ones are Mikey Barra and Bobby Kotick, who are in the upper echelons of the company. So, that's like I think what it boils down to is I don't know that I want to like heavily promote the game. I would not accept a review code. I don't plan on streaming it. I don't plan on talking much about it. I will buy and enjoy it. But like, I think ultimately this is just a situation where people need to do what feels right to them, because this is not a right answer. If boycotts were going to work, the fucking Wizard game wouldn't have sold, I guess. So do what makes you feel right. You're not going to hell because you bought Diablo 4.
I want to ask why somebody stole that, but
You
never
know
mind.
exactly goddamn why some man stole that breast milk. Do not fucking lie to me. You know exactly goddamn why.
Boy, oh boy, was that a fucking thing I learned today.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when it comes to boycotts, like, I've said this before, I'll say it again, like I will never begrudge anyone for boycotting a company on principle. I just won't. Especially a company like Activision Blizzard or Ubisoft. That being said, if we were going to boycott everything we love that might have something problematic about it, then we wouldn't have anything. So
hey, you're in my situation.
I'm proud
Congrats.
of people. Yeah, I'm proud of people. You are objectively going to hell in Diablo 4. Probably true. Betting in Act 4.
I can see that.
But yeah, so the point is, like, if I see people who are choosing to boycott Diablo 4 because they're pissed about Activision Blizzard stuff, like, I'm fucking proud of you.
Go for it.
Keep it up. Like,
Absolutely.
that shit rules. If you're somebody,
it's not at the top of my buy list, I'll tell you that much.
if you're somebody who has a deep affection for these games and you're gonna buy it, like, and the shit that's wrong with the company, but you're buying it, and like, you also understand, like, hey, like, there are developers and artists and people who worked hard on this game, and I'm doing this for them.
Well,
right?
It's like Brit, right? Like Brit is someone who World of Warcraft means a lot to.
Yeah.
And I would never ever expect or even want Brit to boycott World of Warcraft, because because it's such a foundational part of like, it's just, I don't know, Brit, if you want to speak on that, but I would never expect that from you, nor would I want you to do that.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what I will say is that I have never once told people to play. I've never once boasted about it on my Twitter page. I feel uncomfortable even talking about the game. But I know deep down that I know the issues. I boycotted them for, after the initial news broke, I immediately unsubscribed. And I was unsubscribed for, I want to say, like 6 months. I came back for the expansion because to me, it just felt like it was the right thing to do based on my losses and what had happened. However, like, even knowing my situation, even with how heavily I feel towards Blizzard Activision, like, I don't feel comfortable telling people that I'm playing the game. And it's not because I'm ashamed. It's just because, people are going to judge me, and they have every right to do that based on, the track record and history. And they're not going to know my reasons for indulging in, World of Warcraft. It's been a huge creative outlet for me. It's been a huge time sink for me where I can just, aimlessly just jump in, do something. And Overwatch has been kind of a thing for me. However, me enjoying these things does not take away from how I feel about Activision Blizzard as a whole. Like, for instance, I was playing Overwatch on Tuesday night. And there's these cool new skins, like new highlight intros and all this stuff, and it's like, but you have to pay for it. And after they canceled the PvE, I was like, I don't want to fucking buy this shit. Like, I specifically don't want to support this kind of company. Like, and it's not just because, like, it's Activision Blizzard, which is a completely reasonable way to not reason to not support the company and buy things, but mine was just because of how shitty they were about rolling out Overwatch 2, in the sense that Overwatch 1 was completely shut down, so Overwatch 2 could succeed with PvE and all these new maps and characters, and they were going to do so much. And then they just announced that they're not going to do PvE anymore. So they're not going to do player content.
I'm still just over the fucking...
That's pretty frustrating, yeah.
So it is frustrating. It's like that fact itself is very frustrating. The thing that makes me fucking rage is the fact that they knew this before they fucking launched Overwatch 2.
Yep.
Like, they made this decision to shut down Overwatch 1, which is essentially what Overwatch 2 is, to make Overwatch 2 for PvE. They fucking did the announcement trailer as PvE. They did content at BlizzCon as PvE. They showed that shit. There are people who worked on this for 4 fucking years.
They actively lied to people.
Yeah.
They
at a certain
lied
point they
to
did, yeah.
Everybody.
They weren't at first, but at a certain point they did.
Especially its fan base, like. Yeah, exactly. So, that's what's hard about this whole situation, right? It's like there are people who put their time and energy into this company only for higher execs to be like, no, that's not important. Essentially what Overwatch 2 was taking out loot boxes and putting in a battle pass, and changing up the currency system. And they knew that from the fucking beginning, but they didn't want to say that because they knew people would pitch a fit about all this.
They're gonna
throw a
bitch
fit
about that shit.
Thank you. So mad about this, and I'm also a little tipsy. So they knew that people were gonna throw a fucking fit about the new Battle Pass update. So they didn't. They specifically, held off in telling it. And you know what? It's like, and so many people have said this, like, and now they have this Pride Month thing going on where you can get Pride banners and, Pride stuff. And it all just feels like fluff, like weightless corporate
I thought I read that the Overwatch stuff is also
like,
opt-in, as in, like, people can opt, like, not to see the Pride shit.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I would.
Wait, what?
Honestly, I don't keep up on
I've read a couple of
shit,
tweets about that. It could be bullshit, but that's what I've read. That it's an opt-in thing, or it's going to be an opt-in thing. I don't know if it's launched. I uninstalled Overwatch 2. After the PvE stuff, I was like, I'm good. But yeah, there's shady shit going on in Blizzard. But here's the thing, like, Britt, and this is, I think, a key difference, right? Is you have played World of Warcraft and Overwatch 2, and I have played Overwatch 2, and I'm going to play Diablo 4, like, not in ignorance of the issues at Activision Blizzard or in rejection of them. In fact, we use our platform to talk about what's going on at these companies, right? So, like, that's, that's a big difference from people who just wanted to turn their eyes away from problems and go, oh, but this company or this corporate IP is my favorite, so nothing can be going wrong. Like, never cape for a corporation.
And I feel like not mentioning that I do these things is also like, I should talk about how I'm doing these things and playing these games while also, being critical of Activision Blizzard and their choices. But it's just like, there were so many people on Twitter involved in the Activision Blizzard discourse sphere on Twitter that are just employees of the company, and they're genuinely trying to make Activision Blizzard a better company. And not to say that we should forgive everything Activision Blizzard does because of it, but it's just like, it sucks. Genuinely good people who want to do these things, and we basically just kind of have to, we have to make the decision, right? Like,
yeah. People are going to work out their feelings, but like there ends up not being a wrong answer other than to pretend the problems don't exist. That's the wrong answer.
Right. No, that's a great way to put it.
And I also think there's different levels of sin here, right? Because like Activision Blizzard is the problem. If the problem is Activision Blizzard is a corporation made up of hundreds of people, right? Most of whom are great people. A small handful, especially at the top, suck total shit. And oftentimes that's
Absolutely.
the makeup of a corporation. But like that's just different from a situation like the fucking Wizard game where like if the problem's Bobby Kotick, there's a world where Activision Blizzard exists without Bobby Kotick, and Bobby Kotick no longer gets $1 from this stuff. That can never be true when it comes to Jowling, Cowling, Rowling, right? Joanne is going to get her fucking $1 from all the Wizard merchandise. So
Joanne is going to get her $1. And, the thing that's really disappointing is I know, Derek, you especially were holding out hope that the, Xbox absolving Activision Blizzard would help a lot of shit and get Kotick out. And it's looking grim, for Xbox and for the future of Activision Blizzard. Especially if they continue to just be corporate greedy fucks who just don't care about content, want to release their old shit and slap a battle pass on it, like at least Fortnite every season gives you new content, new weapons, new characters, like it gives you something to keep going back for. And that's what I'm not seeing from the Overwatch pass is like, you offer exclusive skins and like
Brit's going off and I'm here for it.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, no, like you offer exclusive skins and, sprays and like all this voice lines, whatever. But it's like, it's all just stuff that you can equip, right? It's not like, every season Fortnite changes, they change something, this place isn't there anymore, or they change up the map, and it's like here Overwatch 2 is just feeding us the same shit from Overwatch 1 and slapping a battle pass on it. That's all Overwatch 2 is.
BlizzCon's going to be rough this year, huh?
So that's what's frustrating, right? It's like this, like even though we have all these grievances, Overwatch 2 is still doing well. Diablo 4 is going to do well. Just because the beta has been so good. At
least Diablo 4 sounds like it was a solid product.
A company like to succeed.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just like all my pieces I wanted to say is like corporate greed fucking sucks. We're in that same position that we were when this whole shit came out. And it's just like, all you can do if you're going to buy this piece of media is to be aware of what you're supporting and make sure you are campaigning for the right people, and not specifically a company or a franchise just because you love it so much. Like you don't have to defend capitalism. You don't have to defend big corporations. If you like something and you like playing it, that's a you thing, right? That's not a corporation thing. So own that if you like something. It's okay to like stuff. It's okay to play stuff that you like and that makes you feel good. Just make sure you're aware. And that's basically all I have to say about that.
Be part of the fight. Britt, I love you went off. Bless. Happy early birthday.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
For like 2 weeks.
Hell yeah. Bring the fire. Bring it.
We're just glad we're just glad you
I
showed
will
up for
say,
that.
John and Jeff, and Derek, I'm at the end of Final Fantasy IV, I think. I just got off the moon, and I think I'm at the last part of the game.
Yeah, you're rolling in.
Yeah,
Immediately,
you're
like the
real
last part
close
of the
now,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did not think I would want to know
So,
that.
yeah,
if
I'm
you didn't
there.
mention me.
I will have a
Final
game.
Fantasy when we get to 16's launch party.
Yeah, then we get to 16, and I also get to catch up on 14 because it's all full of like 4
Four
lore.
stuff,
So.
yeah.
Well, now when you catch up
Yeah.
to 6.4, like it's gonna hit so much different for you having played Final Fantasy IV.
And that's why I've like held off playing 14 is because I want to experience everything as a whole, because obviously like the beginning was okay because I've known like the Four Fiends are iconic. That theme is iconic.
Yeah.
So but now getting to the end of the game, I'm feeling like, okay, this is going to be important. This is going to be vital to the 14 story. So I'm excited.
I'm so excited for you to get to the end of 14 and then, or to the end of 4 and then catch up to 6.4 because wow, like it's fucking wow is all I gotta say. You're in for a treat.
I fucking love the new character that they introduced
Zero
for this specific. Yes.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Zero is great. Zero is fucking great.
Yeah.
Do you need to get back and hang out with your family, Britt?
I do. I have to go, but I just want to tell you guys that I love you.
We love you.
And I'm going to see you guys in a week. Or
Yeah.
at least
Happy
you. I'll see 2 of you in a week.
Happy early birthday, although you will also get, happy birthdays on the day. Yeah.
If anybody here doesn't know, my birthday's June 4th and Derek is June 5th. So I expect gay pride, Brit celebration, and Derek
This is really how we kick off Pride Month,
week.
is gay solidarity and birthdays. So
100%.
Hell
100%. So I love you guys. Have a good rest of the podcast. And I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Britt.
Bye.
What a treasure. What a treasure she is.
So we don't have a ton of time left.
Stormy, what's up? Stormy.
Hey.
So we got about 13 minutes left.
We got just enough time to talk about some highlights, I think.
Yeah.
The
from the
showcase?
PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Before
Third
we
quarter
start,
ended, 21 points. Sorry.
CJ.
I'm really sad, guys. Come on.
Wait, I'm sorry, Stormy. The Waypoint news.
Oh yeah, Waypoint.
Waypoint shutting down.
No, they came back. Like with some, they rebranded
back?
something. I guess some of the people. Like I think. Hold up.
Oh, cool.
I can pull it up. I think Patrick
That's great.
posted something about it.
I mean, if
name is
Austin
changing.
Walker ain't there, I don't know.
On the
Jeff, go
PlayStation
ahead.
Showcase, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Derek mentioned this early in the show. It wasn't quite time for the topic, but I think, like, I'm not on social media. I have no idea I'm just now finding out people were underwhelmed, I guess, with it. But I feel like it's the same thing for every state of play. Like, just based on what I see in the Discord and hear around, like, online, every one of these kind of events, I feel like, with a few exceptions, generally people are let down. So, like, if 1 out of 10 times it meets expectations and the other 9 out of 10 times it's like, this wasn't what I wanted, at what point is the problem not the show? The problem is that, like,
is your expectations, right?
Yeah, like we get a state of play every few months. So by now, we've had a lot of them. You know what a state of play looks like. So
right.
And this, I mean, let's talk.
Why are you expecting a state of play to not be what a state of play is? And
we got a big look at Spider-Man 2, which can be huge.
Right.
Right. We got our first look
That's
at
like
that
a
game
tentpole,
since
right?
the
Like,
announcement.
Yeah.
Easily. We got our first real look at Alan Wake 2, right? Which, I mean, Remedy, like, that should be fucking exciting. Brand new Assassin's Creed Mirage, going back to roots. We got fucking Dragon's Dogma 2, right? Which
I want to
should
talk about
be
that.
we're gonna talk about that shit. We got an announcement that Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is actually fucking coming out and soon, which is a kind of a big deal. we had, what else was there?
Metal Gear.
Derek.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Metal Gear. No, dude. Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, and they're re-releasing the a bunch of the games.
I was gonna say, like,
I'm actually
the ports are the bigger news because the 3 remake, like, that news broke years ago.
Bungie's doing a new marathon or a reboot of Marathon.
I'm more
Like,
excited
there
about
was
the Metal
plenty
Gear
of
Solid
big shit.
Collection, Volume 1 than I am the remake.
Does that mean we're getting 4?
I was gonna say,
4, yeah.
honestly, this is not gonna be popular. They should have remade 4 instead of 3 because 3 is coming with those ports this fall, and the subsistence version of 3 largely modernized the camera and controls.
Yes.
4 is literally unportable. 4 is so
That's
heavily
probably why.
coded to the cell processor architecture. You cannot really get that running on another system short of brute forcing emulation or completely rewriting it.
Well, but
So-
3 also is clearly a Blue Point style remake, right? It's not a from
It's
the
going to
ground
be
up
good.
thing.
That's
so
gonna be good,
so
for
it's
sure.
a thing
Isn't-
that is
but-
more achievable for them than probably a
just like
ground
if I
up
had to
remake of
choose
4.
between, ports of the first 3 and then a remake of 4 all available on PS5
Three is also the one that everyone loves without
I get why they
reservation,
did
though.
it.
Isn't it a standalone almost?
I get why they did it,
Yeah.
but we could have had all 4 games on modern systems.
Did they
So
announce is it's using the Fox engine? I'm so sorry for interrupting. Did
No,
they-
it's they haven't announced anything like that. The expectation at this point is that the 3 remake is more of a Blue Point style remake. This is not going to be like a ground up remake.
Which
So
makes
it's-
sense because they're reusing the voice lines, like
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
But the
remake.
thing is,
Get
a lot of
outta here.
the thing is, a lot of the Japanese voice actors have died, and one of the what is it? The American voice actress for Ava worked under a pseudonym and then disappeared and has never been identified. So
Yeah.
like they'd never be able to find. So like if you want the original cast, they're gonna go back to the original recordings, right? But anyway, point is, there's a lot of good stuff in this showcase, and I think what people did is people get so hyped about like they get in their head that like we're gonna see Bloodborne 2 and Final Fantasy 7, and we're gonna
Bloodborne is dead,
Yeah.
folks. It's not.
and
it's not happening.
somebody is and the screen is literally gonna
Guys,
give me a
guys,
blowjob, and like
the real
man.
news, Derek. The real
Yeah.
news for me is that fucking weird remote play handheld is real.
Oh,
Fuck
that
yeah.
thing sucks shit.
No,
Fuck
no, no.
that.
Dude, we have never been so like back before. We're back. Sony invented the
Sony
Wii U.
has- yes.
Invented the Wii U. Let's fucking go.
Sony's
All
arrived
these
at
Sony
Wii U,
ponies-
but worse, and
No, no, no.
a decade later.
I want to see the console war guys defend this shit so badly.
They will.
So fucking
They will.
badly.
Like I make
Oh
fun of
my-
it, but I'll probably buy one because I'm.
I was
cheap
gonna
as
say
hell.
it. It depends on the price point. I was playing the Pixel remasters actually on my iPad with remote play, and it was a really good experience. But like, I'm not gonna pay $300 for this thing because I can just play it on my iPad. But like, I don't know if it's reasonably
works
priced.
better-
I'd consider it.
If it works like what I'm saying, if it works as well as the Vita did with remote play,
Yeah.
it'll be great. I think it'll be.
I mean, it's only
Like,
gonna
I
work
wanna
over
play, I
Wi-Fi.
want to
Now,
play
if I
Final
could-
Fantasy 14 in bed, but this is probably going to be cheaper than a Steam Deck. So
Well, so here's the thing though. So Final Fantasy 14 is not broken on Steam Deck. It won't play anymore. So like, and that's really what I was using my Steam Deck for. So that thing is useless to me now. CJ, what if you could get emulation running on this thing?
So
You
that's
won't.
my-
You won't
my-
be able to. There's not going to be any storage on this thing.
Which-
Why would it
oh,
need
yeah.
it? It's a remote play device.
Oh, okay.
it just
Yeah.
streams.
Why would you ever put any storage on it? They won't have
That
an SD
stinks.
card port. It'll have exactly as much storage as it needs to run the operating
run the-
system
yeah.
and a little overhead. It's not gonna
and
be
whatever
something.
updates they need, whatever. That's fine. If it's good, it's not like I'm just happy it's not cloud bullshit. I'm happy it's remote play because at least then it'll run off whatever's installed on your PlayStation. People are bummed about that. I don't know. Sony's not going to drop a bunch of R&D on a new handheld. I'm sorry. They can't
No,
compete with
they won't.
Nintendo.
No, instead they
I-
made a fucking $250
A
handheld that
weird half
only
measure.
streams
A-
over Wi-Fi and has a 1 hour battery life.
I mean,
Like,
look, man. If it's look, it's probably for someone like me, right? Who I love my Switch to death, but I want to play games that look and run better. If I can get that,
You could just say you want to play good games, CJ. It's okay.
yes. Fuck Zelda. Are you kidding me? I put a Kirby game as my game of the year. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
well, there's
what
that.
Are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I was gonna say like
There
Jesus.
are no good plays. The PlayStation has no games. They're all PC, Jeff. What are you talking about? So that's my thing, right? If we can get at least like a weird half measure, but a good one, I'm fine. Like I'm fine with whatever sacrifices have to be made for this bullshit.
Look, man, fuck this handheld. There's 2 actual pieces of news that matter. One, I gotta cover Snake Eater now.
I was hoping you would say that.
I'm fucking miserable about this. Now, here's the thing. That's not gonna get done anytime super soon.
Charity stream.
I need time to record this because if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. No, John, I'm going to record a cover. That's not the same as me doing fucking cheap karaoke.
Okay, no, I like this better actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually do like 5 or 6 passes and edit this together.
So I need you to do it. So once either the remake or the ports come out, I can just sync it so I can listen to the theme song as the intro plays.
Yeah.
And
you could do that.
Maybe you can make other bets so you can cover Heaven's Divide.
That's not gonna happen. I'm done. I'm clearly
dude.
done making these fucking bets because I was not expecting to have to come through on this one.
You gotta either Heaven's Divide or the one from Phantom Pain. You gotta complete it all. You gotta do Calling to the Night, please.
Calling to the Night.
Calling to the Night, man. But no,
Derek,
the other piece of
will you
news.
feed on a tree frog?
Maybe one day I'll crawl through the rain. Here's what the real news is. The biggest piece of fucking news to come out of this: Dragon's Dogma 2, motherfuckers. Yo, I said we were gonna see this game this summer, and we sure the fuck did. And you want to know what it looks like?
Dragging their feet through the mud to make this shit.
Yeah. But you know what it looks like?
Incredible.
It looks like fucking Dragon's Dogma unmired by the limitations. Right? It got money and it got power behind it.
I didn't see the trailer. I didn't watch the showcase. So like, does it look that great?
It looks like Dragon's
fucking,
Dogma.
like summoning meteors down to like.
I never played the first one. I own it. I never played it.
Well, so you need to. First off, it's so your shit because it's kind of a weird, janky,
open
super
world RPG.
compelling,
It's a
super
6 out of 10
fucking
game,
compelling.
CJ, but it's like the best.
It's a 6 out of 10
Oh, I have it on
game.
Switch. Yeah, okay.
It's a 6 out of 10 game, but then you beat it and you realize it's the most galaxy brain shit you've ever played.
Oh,
like,
Mafia 3.
Yeah. So, but Dragon's Dogma 2 looks like they're not trying to reinvent shit. It looks like Dragon's Dogma, but bigger and prettier. And with like, they were showing off some real cool environmental interaction stuff where, you know, they were like the fucking Cyclops pounding the ground and like fucking up the bridge, you know, in real time. And yeah, Dragon's Dogma really, it was all about the emergent gameplay shit, right? It was all about how ridiculous like the magic was and the weird ways that the environment, like in a lot of ways, Dragon's Dogma was all the cool shit about like Breath of the Wild and then Elden Ring way before those games. Yes, because it's all about these weird like emergent gameplay moments. And its story is this like weird, compelling, ridiculous thing that's all in the background until you get it all at once. And it's all about letting you explore the game and figure it out instead of putting a bunch of check boxes on a map and saying, go fucking do, you know, collect 8 eagle feathers in this region. So yeah, first off, I cannot shill Dragon's Dogma, the original, enough. Like, it's cheap. Buy it.
Have you played it on Switch? Is it good? Is it good
Yeah,
for me to
runs
play it on that
great on
console, or
Switch.
should I buy it on PS5?
Actually, I would play it on Switch over another console because, like, visually, it was never a looker.
Game. Yeah,
it's not compromised at all on Switch. It runs great.
What I was going to say, its visual flaws will actually be minimized in docked or in handheld mode.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, Dragon's Dogma fucking rips. Like, here's the thing. Austin Walker was on Twitter recently saying that Dragon's Dogma is like the most Austin Walker game he's played in ages. And like, that should tell you everything if you're a fucking that kind of person. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2, absolutely sick. Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake looks absolutely sick. Somebody cares about Marathon. I'm not the right person for that, though.
I don't.
No one cared about it when they found out it was just like a tower or like a horde defend or like multiplayer.
That's the thing. Like, I can acknowledge that that's cool, but say it's not for me, right? Like Assassin's Creed Mirage looks cool. It's not for me.
Oh my god, guys! I'm so excited for Assassin's.
Yeah.
So
like, as someone who
everybody.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, everybody who ever wanted to play Splatoon but didn't want to buy a Switch, like, you have fucking foam stars now, I guess. You know,
Sony does what Nintendo don't.
Alan Wake 2 looks sick. Like,
I'm a little more muted on the showcase than you guys, I think. Like, there were some cool reveals, there were some cool announcements. The problem for me is that a ton of these cool reveals and announcements were CGI trailers.
I mean, yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 3 was literally a swamp and then like panned in on Snake and that was it.
That's one of those things though where like they know that they can get away with just showing like CG because it's what everyone wanted.
I'm like okay with CG trailers for known properties because like most of us, you know what Metal Gear Solid 3 is, so you can kind of like imagine.
Also, we got screenshots almost immediately, so like.
Oh, I didn't know we had those. I'll have to look those up. But, like a CG trailer for a new IP, I'm like,
what does that mean? Yeah, like when Redfall was announced, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right? Like
I don't know. Like Spider-Man. I don't know. Like I know that I should be happier with it than I am. But I'm just, and I can't even really put my finger on why. Now, I want to be clear. Like, there's been a lot of doomsday talk about, like, oh, this was the worst, the fucking presentation. I'm like, no, come on, guys. Like, let's not fucking fall into hyperbole here. But go ahead, Jeff.
I think I was gonna say, like, I think you're kind of valid because you're obviously we know you're not like the person like tweeting at Sony like you guys fucking suck.
Yeah,
but, right. Like, I think there's a bit of validity, like, and it's not. Again, it's just like being realistic, like. Sony's had a good run the last few years, but a lot of their major studios are tapped out. Naughty Dog is a while away from releasing a new game. Yep. Polyphony's a long time away from releasing another Gran Turismo. Like, you know, I'm like blanking all their other, but like basically half of their first party studios just released a game in the last year or two. The other ones, like, you know, Bend had I think even after Days Gone, they already had something kind of canceled. They had it struggling to get going. Like, it's just they had a really good 2019 to 2022, and now they're in that cycle where they got to hit reset, and it's
Guerrilla's
just gonna be a while.
Gorilla just finished Horizon,
another one, right? So like it's just, and that's, you know, that's just the nature of it. Like either you've got like, you know, one game every year and you keep it going, but Sony quite often, you know, this happened like end of the PS3 era. They had like God of War Ascension, The Last of Us. Like, you know, they supported that console at the end, but at the beginning of PS4, they had to really lean on indie games and third-party stuff until this middle kind of kicked in again. And that's, so I think it's valid to be like, you know, to me, it doesn't really matter because like, I don't really care who publishes a game, like a game's a game, but you know, for people that really like the kind of experiences that Sony makes and those type of games, yeah, like it's, I think it's valid to like watch that and not really get what you were wanting out of it.
Yeah.
So
it's, you know, I think like, objectively, this is a pretty solid showcase with some really solid indie announcements and some pretty big, like bigger announcements too. Mm-hmm. But like people have got to be aware enough to know the difference between these things are not for me and these things are bad announcements. Marathon's so not for me, but it's probably going to be big. It's a new Bungie.
It's a good announcement. The art is great. It's from Bungie. Like, you know, they're going to make a good shooter.
I don't give a shit about Assassin's Creed anymore. I haven't in so long, but Assassin's Creed Mirage is going to be a big deal to some folks. You know, it's going to be
even outside of like Twitter, like that. That's
yeah, it's going to sell stupid well.
Right.
You know, it's been a few years since the last Assassin's Creed, right?
Well, and it's been what, like a decade since the last like true to form.
True to form.
Yeah, where it's
open world stealth game as opposed to an RPG.
There's a 15. It's a 15-hour game and it's completely stealth. Like,
if I can make a quick point about Sony's whole thing, and I think this is like a thing with every showcase. To me, they always feel safe, right? Because they can kind of lean on like the same like 5 games or the same 5 series. We already knew about Spider-Man, right? We already knew about Metal Gear via leaks. We already knew about Street Fighter 6. Like they showed Street Fighter stuff there too. They showed all this stuff, and I feel like every single showcase kind of falls in that cycle. Jeff, to your
Resident
point,
Evil 4 VR we already knew
right.
about. Yeah.
So to your point, Jeff, like they have nothing to lean on, but at the same time they're still kind of leaning on like how many more times can we see Spider-Man this year? Until release, right?
To be fair, with Spider-Man, this is the first time we've seen it since they announced it.
But we knew about it, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Same thing happened with Ragnarok. We saw some gameplay of Ragnarok after already. Like we had like this big hype.
But yeah, you're right. We're gonna see Spider-Man like 5 more times before release for sure.
So my whole thing, and that's just Sony's whole playbook. They always play it incredibly safe. They're not like Nintendo, who will take the fucking new 1-2 Switch game got announced today. Was anyone fucking expecting that?
No.
Exactly. Right? You know what I'm saying? We never knew about that. We
literally have no idea what Nintendo's doing other than Pikmin. And that's August.
No, 1-2 Switch is the second game of the year nominated for them. I promise you.
CJ is
No.
challenging Sony to shadow drop Knack 3 tomorrow.
It's just hard, and I
Sony
think
released a good game challenge.
I will say this right here is like this 100% boils down to fucking David Jaffe got his ass in the headlines yelling about Bloodborne remake PC sequel shit. Like,
Fuck
oh
David
yeah, I
Jaffe.
definitely heard this shit. And like the thing is, like, nobody, like, I had normies, right? Like, I had regular ass offline folks asking me, like, yo, is this like, is Bloodborne getting remade?
Guys,
It's
I'm
like,
relevant, I promise.
Stop it with Bloodborne.
I was like, the guy who said that knows nothing. He's
He
an
made
asshole.
Drawn to Death.
He's-
We can't trust him.
He's an asshole and nobody talks to him, right? Like, but the problem is that spreads around. It just takes like one burnt out asshole or one like fake insider person spreading some rumors for everybody to get their hopes like up that, oh my God, we're going to see, you know, fucking this thing. And then when the one thing that you had your hopes set on that was rumored because of some insider doesn't show up, none of the rest of the cool shit matters to you, right? So the two things I guess I would impart upon people to like wrap this up is, if you're somebody who saw this PlayStation showcase and we're just like really think this is bad, not this stuff wasn't for me, like John is saying, but like this is a bad showing. One, learn that your personal tastes are not objective, right? That there can be a big showcase that just doesn't have a lot that speaks to you personally, and that's okay. But also, two, that you gotta stop paying attention to fucking rumors that hardcore, because you're always gonna hear rumors. There's always gonna be some insider motherfucker. There's always gonna be a David Jaffe saying they heard some shit, and like that's cool to play with. The speculation's cool to like hear about and take half seriously. But if you take it more than half seriously, you are setting yourself up for anger and disappointment about a thing that was never real. And that's emotionally unhealthy for you. Touch grass.
I agree.
That's what I got.
Well, we are almost 10 minutes over, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Derek, do we have a show next week? Like, are we doing a show next week? Like, what's the deal? Like,
We won't be flying out yet. I don't see why not.
yeah, I don't see why not. So guys, next week is a very exciting week for us. Of course, we will be headed out. So again, for
Yeah, if
anybody who missed it-
industry friends are going to be in LA for like Summer Games Fest, we won't be at Summer Games Fest, but Friday to Sunday we'll be there for in advance of the Final Fantasy 16 launch party, and that's certainly not going to take up all of Sunday either. So,
Right.
We'll hopefully get to link up with some cool folks.
This
But,
is one of the biggest things that's happened to us, being invited as VIPs to this thing. So we're extremely excited about this. It's a huge opportunity. We're gonna be I can't believe it. I'm gonna be playing Final Fantasy 16 next weekend. Like, holy shit. I'm so excited. Guys, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate it. If nobody has anything else, remember, guys, happy Pride Month, everybody. You are valid. Your love is valid. You are valid. And
we're gonna fucking make it, brothers and sisters.
Nothing
other siblings.
any shithead right winger says can change that.
Just
Not
remember,
a-
folks. Just remember. I'm gay. Good night.